Hello everyone, Attack Power here with another How to Play the Division series with Festung Dunkirchen. If you guys enjoy this content, hit that like button, subscribe, and consider checking out the Patreon. Let's dive right in here. This division is relatively new. The last few months came out in the Dunkirk DLC along with CIABG. This is definitely the less powerful of the two divisions that came out in that DLC, but it still has some interesting tools, and it definitely can be a fun division. I consider it the a weird half-brother of Group Toulon. Very similar strengths, definitely very distinct, but it definitely holds a lot of the similar powers and strong tabs and weak tabs that Group Toulon has. Your Recon tab, not many good options, but you do have a very good unit in there. Your Infantry tab is obviously one of the highlights of the divisions. Tons and tons of Panzerschrecks, which is really cool. You get a lot of junk infantry, and then you get a really fantastic unit that really outperforms many other units. Your Tank tab is extremely limited. All you get are Panzer IVs and Stug 3s, but the nice thing is you get more of them than you do in Group Toulon. So definitely an upgrade on the Group Toulon tank tab. Your support tab is pretty fantastic with some unique units and plenty of good support weapons, so that'll definitely help carry you through. Your A tab is pretty fantastic as well with Martyr 3s and a Jagdpanther. Your A tab is phenomenal, similar to Group Toulon with a lot of the same really powerful tools. Your artillery tab is also really good with a mix of really great heavy artillery, and if you have a very broken moral compass, some really good off-map. And your air tab is pretty darn bad, different from Group Toulon, which has a pretty solid air tab that is really augmented by the good AA. But let's hop right in here. Your Recon tab really only has one excellent option, and that is the Jagdkommando here, the KM Jagdkommando. This unit is fantastic. 30 points, 369 availability, 1 vet locked. 3 MP41s, different than the MP40, 4 rifles, 2 MG34s, and a grenade along with radio. So just a really solid unit. Can really get the job done, puts out some good damage. I would say the one thing this division really struggles with is some CQC with the infantry. So having another unit with grenades is really strong. You can, even if you really want to, you can consider putting the B1 in C phase, so you have 12 of them. Depends on how long you plan on playing. I've found myself in a lot of really long balance games lately in quick play, so if you feel like that's you, then I would definitely consider. I definitely think this division is more of a balanced division. I'm sure you could play it with heavy off-map Maverick style, but that really makes me want to throw up. So yeah, not doing that. Off into the infantry tab, there is a whole lot of options here. So a lot of things to pick from, some cool models here with the units. We have the Flakkampftruppen here, really interesting disheartened unit, only 20 points, 2 MP40s, rifle, a light machine gun, and a Panzerschreck. It does a pretty good availability with 8, 16, 24 to take it in any phase. I'm taking it here in A, just getting those Panzerschrecks out early and around. A nice 20-point unit, and it does have a machine gun, so it does okay. It's not a very chunky squad. I would not be throwing this up against other infantry. This is definitely more of like a suicide kill a tank or something squad in that respect. Then one of the unique CQC units of this division, the Jagd Pioneer. 1 submachine gun, 6 rifles, a flamer, and some smoke. This unit is pretty awful. Just know that right now, it is not good. It will not win many CQCs. I mean, obviously it'll beat other like rifle squads, but like any other dedicated CQC unit will probably smack this thing around. It's really not good with the rifles and stuff at close range. The only thing good about it is the flamer, but the actual like damage output from your rifles and stuff sucks. So don't expect a lot of it. That's why I'm bringing in A phase, because I don't actually want that many of them. I had them in B and they're just kind of trash, so I said forget it. Then the Marine Pioneer here, we saw this in Group Toulon, 2 submachine guns, 6 rifles, a grenade, and a Panzerschreck. Honestly, the Panzerschreck's probably the most important part of this. Otherwise, it's kind of a suicide grenade squad because it only has 8 men, so it dies really easily to other grenades, which is often what's happening to your Pioneer squads. They're trading grenades, and chunkier ones always do better than less chunky ones. Then I'm bringing the Marine Führer here with the leader. I don't usually care about better leaders, but in this division, I feel like the extra 2 MG34s is really helpful. You could just bring the Pioneer Führer too. That's fine. If you want the 20-point version, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that as well. And finally, the highlight of the infantry in the division tab here, the Jagdkampf. This unit is phenomenal. 4 MP40s, 6 G43s, 2 MG42s, and a Panzerschreck. It's basically a Brandenburger, but instead of a grenade, you have a Panzerschreck. So yeah, I mean, it's phenomenal. It's 35 points. It's expensive, but it gets 35 points worth of damage out. This unit is very good, and this is the backbone of your infantry tab. You want these, and you want to use them well. Be careful with them. Then in B phase, I'm bringing the Stoßtruppen, which isn't Stoßtruppen like all the others, a 5-man squad, but this one comes with a Panzerfaust and a grenade. I'm bringing them in B because they can just be little suicide grenade squads, and you really need more CQC in this division. I had the Ag Pioneers in here, but again, they're so bad, and you only get 8 in B, so you get less, and you can get more of these in B phase, so yeah, that's why I'm bringing them here. Then I have my Festungs Grenadiers. These are 15-man disheartened squads with 1 LMG and 14 rifles. They hold up pretty well. They're chunky squads. They do pretty well. These big squads can be really quite annoying to get rid of and perform pretty well, and it's a nice little 12-24 thing, so I thought it was pretty good to bring in B phase here. And then in C phase, I have a card of K Marine Infantry, which are solid units. We saw them in Group Toulon. 12-man squad, 9 rifles, LMG, 2 submachine guns, and an AT grenade. I mean, for 20 points, this is great. This is well above curve for 20 points. And I'm bringing the second card of Jagdkampf in C phase. I had them in B phase, but I just want more of them. And again, I've been playing some really long balance games in quick play, which is why I've kind of moved some more cards to C phase. Your other options, Ersatz, no reason. There's so many other junk infantry to bring. I would bring these KM Landschützen far long before I brought Ersatz, if you wanted that. Luftwaffe Jägers here. Yeah. They're kind of crappy. I mean, I would just bring Grenadiers. I know they're 5 points more, but I would just bring Grenadiers if you're going to bring these guys. There's really no reason. Grenadiers. There's other cooler infantry here. More KM Marine Infantry. They're all fine, and you could bring some more Pioneers. This is a definite, very viable option as well. I'm not sure what I would take out for them, honestly. Maybe even the KM Marine in C and put these guys in instead. If you have lots of infantry, I have 107, so that's definitely an option to give you some more CQC power. Definitely would consider that if you find yourself really short on forest fighting. Your tank tab, there's not really any options here. It's Panzer IV, Stug 3. I'd prefer more Stug 3s over Panzer IVs, which is why I'm bringing the Stug 3s in B and the Panzer IVs in A. Pretty straightforward. You can't bring any of them in C, so you're kind of stuck with that. Your support tab, a great mix of stuff here. You have Flammenwerfers, which you can bring in tractions, which you absolutely should. Your IG-18s, they're IG-18s, they're great. Then you have the Erdkampflette. This thing is absolutely phenomenal. A 1,500 meter range, 20 mil. That's like, it functions like a machine gun. This thing tears through all kinds of stuff, including vehicles. This thing is phenomenal. Just an outstanding unit. I would absolutely consider bringing this in B just to get 8 of them instead, if you really want more of them, and I would not fault you for doing that. Bringing in the Commandant, you want to get these guys pumped up. They function much better with lots of veterancy, like everyone. Ammo and the IG-33, which you can bring with the Lafley, which you absolutely should because it's the fastest heavy transport in the game. I'm bringing these guys in B, so I have 6 nice 2K HE units. Other options here, this police unit actually is pretty good for only 15 points. You get 4 of them. It's 8-man squad with an LMG. This is not a terrible option, honestly, but there's just so much other good stuff I want to shove into this division. I can't fit it. This is not a good 50 mil. It's too short of range. The MG08 you can bring in an attraction, so if you want to do some more cheese at the beginning of the game, you could. I'm not doing that. MG271, I think it's a Hotchkiss. I believe this is a Hotchkiss, if I'm not mistaken, or are very similar to MG34, another good machine gun, and the rest of your leaders. Anti-tank tab, nice anti-tank tab here. I'm taking no Panzerschrecks, not really necessary with the number of Panzerschrecks in the infantry tab. You can kind of skip out and save the points. It's kind of redundant to do that. Pack 36, I'd love to have the Pack 36 in, just couldn't really find room for it. Maybe if you don't like Martyr 3s, you could switch it out. I wouldn't take out the Pack 38s. They're pretty excellent and they're kind of important for holding things. Maybe you don't want Pack 40s in A, I don't know, but Pack 36s are pretty fantastic too. I would not rule these out. Definite something if you want to try to shove it in, maybe find 3 points to get that last card. Martyr 3s, phenomenal. I would never pass in these personally. 130 millimeters of penetration for 35 points is absolutely way above rate. A really solid HE shell at 2.2 damage, 1,500 meter range, 8 rounds a minute, and this thing is just so good. I would always take it. Pack 38, probably my favorite AT gun in the game. Just so nicely costed with that APCR shell, can bat way above its weight class, has phenomenal accuracy, really often, rarely misses. It's a great AT gun. Pack 40s, they're Pack 40s, they're fantastic, always have been, always will be. And then you get one singular Jagdpanther, which actually really helps a lot, can really help you fight some of those heavy German divisions with their big cats and stuff, and can help you swat off some IS-2s and keep them at arm's reach. So yeah, really solid AT tab here. Definitely an upgrade on Toulon for sure. Your AA tab is fantastic. I mean, there's nothing really to complain here. You have 2 cards of Flak 43s, which I'm bringing. You could bring the 40 mil Bofors instead. That's perfectly reasonable. Either would be good. I don't think there's really a plus or a minus to either. I think the Flak 43 is a little better in my opinion, but the points say 40 mil is better, so I could be wrong. And then you have this Flak M31 88 mil. This thing is really good. It's a repurposed 85 mil that was repurposed into an 88. The reason this is better than the actual 88 is because the rate of fire is faster. I know it doesn't look like it, but if you go into the AP shells, it's actually only 10 rounds a minute, while this thing is 12 rounds a minute. So this is actually just better. I mean, the 88 is better at shooting planes. This one is worse at shooting planes, but the truth is I'm often bringing this in as AT, not just AA. My AA is really my Flak 43s. These things are more for big AT guns, such as the Flak 38 105. This thing is phenomenal. It's actually one of the only one-shot Axis weapons that you have. The Soviets are flush with one-shot weapons. The Axis are not. This is one of the few that they have. Really good AAPs, can stop planes in their tracks as well. But honestly, you're using this to kill tanks because it does it really, really well. Bring them in the Lafleys, always, 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 always. You could definitely also bring in another card of these 88s. I mean, there's just options. Flak Verling's always good. I like the longer range of the Flak 43 personally, but the Flak Verling is also quite good. Hopping in the artillery tab, you get some great options here. 81 mm mortar, leader, spotter, you know, the usual stuff. You get 105s. Don't love these. They're pretty bad RD pieces. You get this light FK30T 76 mil. Fires really fast at 10 rounds a minute, which is why I'm bringing it in, mostly for counter battery or just harassing fire. You do get 6 in B phase for only 45 points. Not too bad of a rate. And then finally get into the big guns. You get the K49 French gun, this 155 mil. Fires only 3 rounds a minute. It's not anything crazy, but it is a pretty accurate gun. Does a nice job of crushing whatever you need to crush. It's pretty, I mean, it's pretty expensive. It's 125 points, which is actually 5 points more than the 150 of the usual German weapons, artillery guns. And then, of course, if you are morally degraded and without care in the world, there are the off maps. They are very strong off maps. Get a lot of call-ins of those. You can get 3 call-ins of this disgusting 194 mil. It's just everything about it is wrong and disgusting, and I hope you never use it, but you know, you could easily sub this out and get plenty of off maps and be an unpleasant person like that. And then finally, your air tab, you get these AR-196s, which are actually really good recon planes. I like bringing them. They can actually strafe okay. They do an okay job strafing. They'll kill 1 or 2 units in the strafe run, so not too bad for 40 points, and they give you the recon. Then you have Ju-88s, which are solid bombers, pretty fast, very good resilience, pretty good at getting in and out. And finally, the DO-217, which is your heavy bomber. I'm bringing in C-phase for the 2 1,000 kilogram bombs with 400 kilometers an hour and very good resilience. This is a fantastic plane. Will do a lot of damage, a little expensive, and phase lock to B and C. So this is Festung Dunkirchen, a very solid division, can be very strong. Definitely has its weaknesses with the tank tab and, you know, lack of recon, and definitely struggles at CQC, but all the Panzerschrecks are super fun. Your big guns are really a time as well, and if you are a bad person, if you love off map, this is definitely a division for you. If you guys enjoyed that, hit that like button, subscribe, and consider supporting over on Patreon. Thanks a bunch, and have a fantastic day.